Not yet, Simon.
Yeah, I just
Are
saw that,
we?
but now we are live. Yes, we are live now.
Okay. And you said there's 20-second delay, so that'll
Yeah,
probably be why.
they will see us. Yes, they will see us.
Okay.
All
Cool.
right. So let's just see if I see it on my phone as well.
I'm not seeing it on the phone just yet, but it will come, I'm sure. If it says you are live, then
Yeah, it says so.
yay, live. Ah, we're live.
We are live and alive.
I'm
Hi
I'm not
everyone.
yet, Simon.
Oh, okay. Yes. Hi everyone. Welcome to Tarot Map, and welcome to Tarot Map with Hermit's Cave, the
Hi,
OGs
everyone.
of YouTube.
Yeah, we were just talking about that, weren't we? Like,
Yeah.
is it through choice or?
Yeah, exactly. We involuntarily OGs of YouTube. Welcome everyone. So nice to see some people here. I said it's because of Simon, but it's lovely to have you here. And Simon, it's really nice to catch up with you again. And for
Yeah.
anybody who might not know you, we probably, as I said, we one of the original YouTube channels since 2016, 17, something like that. When did you open the Hermit's Cave?
So, March 2017, but I'd been part of what's that called? These little floaty thumbs up.
I know, I
Um,
don't know it. I did it. I don't know how I did it.
that's
Sorry.
really cool. No, that's fine. I'd been around for about a year before that as, a viewer, going into Kelly's Live on Saturdays. I wasn't Hermit's Cave then, wasn't even Two Spirit then. I just used my name, Simon Harrison, I think I was, and I was just chatting, and I can remember winning a competition for a free reading. And when I got to claim the reading, because it took a few months, I was then at my channel, and Kelly, who did the reading, didn't even make the connection that I was the person that was in. I was like, yeah, it's me. So yeah, so it's 2 years next month since I um, discovered that there was a YouTube community. Did I say 2 years? I mean 10 years.
Yeah, 10
It's,
years.
it's yeah,
And we were
yeah.
just
So
saying that, like, I remember when I started around, like, I think I started maybe, I don't know, maybe a couple of months before you. I can't remember, but we fairly, like, maybe a little bit earlier than you, but I don't remember exactly. I remember that I was watching Kelly and Maddox, so she's like a proper OG. Ethany was there. Yeah, Kelly, Truth and Story. I'm so like bummed she's not on YouTube anymore. And a couple of other channels, which yeah, we were mentioning that we like the YouTube community was much smaller. There were not so many people making the videos, but the audience was quite involved, and there was a lot of
yeah.
us, and we were all kind of like commenting and communicating. It was quite lively, I thought, at that time. So
Well,
yeah,
I remember watching you before I had a channel. So you were
yeah.
around a little before. You weren't called Tara Matt then, but don't ask me to pronounce what you were
Oh,
called
please
because
say it. Tafalarota. I remember everybody was going,
Tafaroluta.
Kasia from, Tafala. Nobody can remember
Taffer
it. So I thought
Taffer
I'm going to
Taffer.
change it.
So I remember you then, and I think you lived somewhere different. Did you used to like record upstairs in
Yeah,
like
I used to live
a
in a
yes,
flat. I used to live in a
that was right.
flat, and then I moved to another flat, and then now I'm living in the country. Yeah.
Yeah. So I remember seeing you then before you was Tarot Map. And yeah, I just remember that moment when one YouTuber mentioned another YouTuber. And I was like, how do they know each other? Not even realizing that actually there was a community. I just found this uh, uh, Raven Unmasked was the first ever unboxing video I watched, and it was because I wanted to buy a deck from a shop that was sealed, and I didn't buy it because there weren't enough images. And I went home and I Google searched trying to find some images, and it suggested a video and it said unboxing. I thought, perfect, I get to see all the cards. And that's kind of how it started. But then other people And then, of course, the algorithm kicks in, and before you know it, I realized there was a community of people, and that was like blew my mind. I'd never even thought YouTube was about that, you know.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the chat. So, hello everybody. It's so nice to see so many old names like I remember. Um,
Yeah,
but yeah, Owl Moon, Racine, she was also one of
Racy.
the AGs, and she's still like putting content out. So basically, I just mentioned the people who were back then and are still, yeah, doing
Yeah,
it. Like Kelly and Maddox or Ethany and Racine, probably three of the like biggest ones that I remember.
and
But there might be
and
more.
men doing tarot just was there was two that I knew of, two other content creators. One was Patrick Fogarty, who was friends
Yes,
with
Patrick.
Kelly, and he was then called In the 78 Cards.
Yeah,
And he actually encouraged me to start a channel.
yeah,
And there was somebody called Andrew Barker, um, who I think was American. They were both American, and there were no British men at all. So when I started my channel, people were like, well, "Hey, A, it's great to see another guy doing tarot because that wasn't a thing really, and B, somebody who's British." Because the
yeah.
only other person I knew was Kelly Bear. She started the year
Yeah.
before me.
Yeah, Kelly Bear
Um,
as well. That's right.
and I remember finding her channel and thinking, "Oh wow, and somebody from the UK, you know."
Yeah.
So yeah, so that was quite novel. And then not long after me, then we had Brian Cormac Carr and other guys started to come in. Jeff
Martin.
Burr,
Yeah.
yeah, loads. Then, so yeah, it was a very different place, I think,
Yeah.
back then.
So we would like you guys to also chip in. Whom do you remember? Whom did you used to watch? We prepared, by the way. We with Simon. We professionals. We live professionals. We have pointers we're going to follow. So our first question, Simon.
I'm still winging it 10 years on, Kasha.
Don't say. So we have the question about well explosion of tarot decks. Okay, because when we started, oh my god, life was slower, right? There was like,
Yeah,
oh my god, Wild Unknown came up. It's an indie deck. Wow, and like for half a year there was like nothing else, right? And then right now, what are we seeing? Like the Kickstarter, one after another,
yeah,
crowdfundings, indie creators also becoming major voices, but also I think really entering mainstream very often right now, right? Through the publishing houses, through just like I think availability of and like internet just connects everything so quickly these days. What you mentioned, we weren't able to see all the decks. We lived with mystery. Sometimes you just
yeah.
weren't able to see all the cards, or do I like them or not? You just saw three and deal with it.
Uh,
The decks that are released now, there's so much of it, right? Like you
yeah,
can't keep up. Like you just cannot,
no,
and it's and you like we're not going to deck shame you, like, but I'm not, I mean, I can't deck shame myself either, but like, yeah, we have a lot of decks. So what do you think, like, has this increase in decks, in deck production, in deck creation, is it a blessing or a curse for you? Like, what's your opinion?
I am literally divided on this one because I'm not going to sit here with somebody who's got over 1,000 decks saying, "Oh, it's such a curse," because I'm very fortunate and I'm in a very fortunate position. Um, I like the fact that there is a deck for everyone, and every genre and every taste, and whatever brings people to tarot is fine by me. Um, I do remember my first year feeling like I had to catch up because people were sharing all these incredible decks, like, the Wild Unknown. They was talking about Druid Craft, and I was like, "Oh, that's brilliant. Oh, that's brilliant."
Yeah.
And in the first year, I think I bought the most decks that I've ever bought since. because I wanted a library of different themed decks and decks that I could use for different types of readings. Um, the flip side to it is that decks now can get lost very quickly. So you mentioned the Wild Unknown. The Wild Unknown, I when I discovered YouTube, it just gone out of print as an indie deck because it became a mass market
Yeah,
deck. And still to this day, I've not been able to get the indie deck, but then I'm not really looking for it because I don't use it as much as I would perhaps some other decks. But that arrived and exploded, and everybody was talking about it, and it had longevity for a couple of years. Whereas now, because of the amount of decks that are being churned out, and I was talking to Cheryl from Wellness Emporium recently, and she was saying in the next month there's something like 70 decks being released. And with that volume of decks, even if a deck comes out now that is like, oh my gosh, this is amazing, it can't have the same longevity as like the
yeah,
Wild Unknown. The next amazing deck is right behind it.
yeah,
So the downside for me is I bring in decks and I'll do a walkthrough and I'll be like, this is incredible. And it might stay on my table for the longest time, but then there are so many that I feel I don't give those decks the attention they deserve. Whereas if there was a limited amount, like when we first joined, then you get to bond with a deck over a longer period of time, I think, and you
yeah,
make a deeper connection with it. Does that
yeah.
make sense?
Yeah, totally. And I agree with you with everything you said. I remember playing with the Dark Goddess Tarot by Ellen Lorenzi Prince for so long and like going into the booklet and like, you had to like work with it. And I think, with like the beginning when you start your tarot journey, very often like I also was like, oh my god, even mass market indie, there wasn't so many indie decks. And for us, maybe in America it was a bit different. I can't remember, even, to be honest, but I don't think there was so many indie decks by then. Not so many that were like available or known of. Maybe people didn't advertise, maybe they were there, but like you just didn't see so many of them. And I think slowly they were coming up, like Julie Kuchia Watts was there, like Ellen Lorenzi Prince, Dark Goddess
Lucy.
Tarot, right? Some of
Yeah,
the Wild
yeah.
Unknown, etc. So I remember that a Wild Unknown was my first indie deck. I got the first edition, and I remember like just being so mesmerized by it. I was like, oh my god, it's so amazing. And yeah, you kind of you used it more. So I think I'm with you on this, like that the we have this point here that like abundance diluted the market a little bit, because you can't, like, recently, I got so many amazing decks. And sometimes when you also like get all these decks together, let's say, because now, after so many like years on YouTube, I get a lot of decks for reviews. But
Mhm.
again, like, I think this deck production speed also teaches me a lot about discernment. So I'm really saying no to a lot of creators as
Yeah,
well, because first of
yeah.
all, space. Second of all, I kind of really know now what type of decks I like or don't like. And even if I like a lot of decks, I know I'm not going to be using them. Like, for example, I'm not a hugest fan of collage decks. I realized, like,
Hmm.
I love them. I like how they look. I find them like artistically wow, and then I just don't reach for them very often. I don't know exactly what it is. But I got these three recently from my friend from America. She came and like she just brought them. Like, this one arrived separately, but like at the same time. And I'm like nearly stressed out because I want to play with, I don't know which one to use most, like I just went for Altered Tarot because it's just so beautiful. But like I love plants, so all these like flowery decks and nature decks. But I thought, like, wow, that would have never happened 10
Yeah,
years ago. It just,
yeah.
we didn't have that many decks.
The thing I found as well is that you're right. You slow down after that initial sort of I need to catch up, and then you have more discernment. and I'm in a lovely position now. I mean, like yourself, there's nothing that I feel really bad when a creator reaches out and says, "I've got a deck that I'd like to say," and I look at it and I think that's not for me. Um, but that's their work, you know. So I have to be because all people see on our channels are us showing decks. They don't see the decks that we don't show, do
Yeah,
they? We're not going to make a video and say I turned down this deck or anything like that. So I always try and say something along the lines of, "Wow, oh well, that's lovely, but it's not a deck I'm looking to bring into my collection right now. However, have you considered?" And
yeah,
I'll suggest people to them, and usually they'll be like, "Okay, thank you for your honesty," because you don't want somebody to send you something that just for the sake of sending it. You know, I don't want to do anybody a disservice. Um, and then like, the same with Cheryl, because we review quite a lot. She'll put now in a return label, and any deck that I don't feel because she knows me quite well, so she'll say, "I've only put in decks I think you'll like," but even then, if there's some that I don't, I have the agreement with her now that I'll return them. So that helps because we are, well, I can't speak for yourself, but certainly I'm refining my collection. And I used to feel that I couldn't let go of decks because the ones I had let go of in the past, I wanted back again. But
yeah,
now I'm in a much better place where I think, actually, if I've not used that for a couple of years, then it may as well be with somebody else.
yeah,
Um, and so the ones that stay now are the ones that I feel are, you know, keepers. I have
yeah,
that,
yeah.
you know, my first indie deck was Pagan Otherworlds.
Oh
That
yeah.
was my first. And I just remember almost, I can still remember the moment I was in my old job, and because I used to live in the city and work out the city, used to catch a bus, sitting on the bus with my finger trembling over buying it because it was from Australia and the cost and the shipping. And I was thinking, what am I doing spending this amount of money? And then the book was separate. And I think it worked out like £120. And we're talking like 11 years ago, thinking, I've never spent this much on a deck of cards. Um, and then a month later, it was connected and free, and I forgot the name of the tarot that goes with it, but the Inner Hue decks.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, and you actually were somebody who used to, from what I could remember, was somebody that was one of the first that used to get independently produced
yeah,
decks and promote them. And I
yeah.
remember watching you, I was thinking, oh, they're beautiful. The one about the twigs, what I forgot what it's called. Uh, and I watched the beautiful twigs, or uh,
Is it the Estranged? No, which one is it?
I think it's like a black and white deck. It's an oracle deck, and it's about twigs. And she's got a series of decks out. Somebody in the chat will remember. I'm not going to go through my shelves, but
Yeah, yeah, don't.
um, yeah. But I remember watching you talking about this and the way you just, and I was like, yeah, I've got to get that.
Yeah,
um, but yeah, I do think, and I see people now starting channels, and I can totally put myself where they are because
yeah,
they're bringing in decks, and I feel that they feel that buzz of excitement,
yeah,
and I still get that buzz of excitement about certain decks, you know, and I think that's part of our longevity on YouTube, isn't it?
yeah,
Because we're still passionate about it, you know,
yeah. After so many years. Yeah,
and I think some of the channels that gone, I think they've perhaps lost their passion, you know, or it doesn't hold the same excitement for them
yeah.
anymore. And I understand that as well, you know.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the chat, like somebody mentioned the Dodal and TDM, because I think I was the first person to ever talk about TDM in tarot community. I know it's like in the like old times of history. Nobody remembers that, but I remember that when I started watching. I mean, not the first ever in tarot community, but like in the community that we had on YouTube, like nobody, like there was this kind of attitude like, no, TDM Tarot de Marseille is difficult, we don't read with it because it's pips and it's difficult. And I remember just having a crush on Enrique Enriquez and going like all the Oh my god! Oh my god! And like he
Yeah.
changed like my life in like tarot life, you know, like how I read tarot, how I like at some point after, you know, buying all these decks, because in the beginning we were all buying decks, right? Like not that somebody was just sending us decks. For years I was buying decks and showing them just because we loved them. But it was amazing that, you know, I watched tarology, I read some Enrique's books, then I studied with him as well. I got him for this interview on Inspired Tarot Map, and I just loved Tarot de Marseille, and I thought I don't need any other decks. And recently, like, and really for like a year or nearly 2 years, I was just using Tarot de Marseille. And I remember I started reading for people around there. It was maybe 2016, something like that. And there was a point where when I read with anything else than Tarot de Marseille, I had to put Tarot de Marseille cards on top of the other ones to like really get clear on what the cards want to say. And it was
Yeah.
so funny because I'm glad I didn't sell all my tarot decks, because of course after, you know, 2 years passed, me being me, I'm like bored already. I'm like, give me color, give me, you know, Rider Waite Smith Toff, anything else, like fill it with something. But I remember that, yeah, I remember that this videos that I started posting on YouTube was me learning about Tarot de Marseille. I didn't come from the perspective, you know, guys, I'm going to teach you about Tarot de Marseille. I was just like, this is what I'm doing. This is what I'm learning about these things. This is what I'm learning about nature. This is how you can connect. You know, it was like I was so excited about it. So I thought like, yeah, Tarot de Marseille was one thing. And I think I was one of not many people who used many decks in one reading back then. Now we all do it.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
remember nobody used to do it. Everybody was like, if you add like Oracle, one card of Oracle maybe, and then like, you know, your tarot spread, nobody used to mix the fuck. I remember when I did this class, like creative tarot class, when I was like showing, you know, how to use many decks in one reading. That was like not many people did it then. Now it's so I'm like I did my break. This was my break to tarot community, to tarot life in general. I left something. Nobody knows it's me, but it's okay.
That's your legacy.
Yeah, it doesn't
Yeah.
matter. It doesn't matter really.
Well, it was interesting because I started my channel in the March of 2017. And then, do you remember March of the Pips? It was
Yeah.
a kind of like a tag. It started on Instagram and then it moved over to YouTube. And throughout the whole month of March, people were just doing pip decks. It was called March of the Pips.
Yeah.
And I just started my channel and I was like, oh no, everybody's now talking about pip decks and I can't do pip decks. My first tarot deck 40 years ago next year was one JJ Swiss. And I just remember reading with the majors because I couldn't get my head around the minors. And there I was, all comfortable with RWS, started my channel, and then everybody was talking about March of the Pips. And I was like, I'm going to be a lone voice now. But I did decide right at the beginning that I needed a Toth deck and a Marseille deck in my collection, even if I don't use them. I mean, now I love pip decks.
Yeah.
But back then, I was like, I need to have the three tarot traditions to,
Yeah.
to refer to and use. So
Yeah, I'm fairly
yeah,
traditional like you about this. If anybody ever wanted my advice, guys, you might not want it, but it's unsolicited now. It's coming
yeah.
anyway. I
Um,
always say to people, you know, to learn tarot, learn Rider Waite Smith, learn, you know, Toph, it's the same kind of Golden Dawn, really. Learn Tarot de Marseille, learn the system, then break through the system and do your own thing, but like know the system
yeah,
because
have
it's
that
has.
underpinning knowledge there. Absolutely. Rachel told it's Forest of Precious Twigs. That was
Oh
the
yeah, by
deck.
Trisha. I'm just
Yes.
I just
Yeah.
show it just in case. Because I love her decks. That's the creator
Yeah.
of the Remembering the Sweet Fool Tarot as well.
Oh,
And yeah,
yes.
it's very
Yeah.
like
And
unusual, soulful, very beautiful. Yeah.
yeah, I remember you showing that and talking about it. And I think I left a comment on your video saying I think this is one of the most beautiful decks. I love the fact that it was just images. It reminded me of soul cards. And I was like, I kind of get it.
And Soul Cards, another one that also we loved a lot in
Yeah,
the very beginning. Yeah. So,
yeah,
what do you think
absolutely.
about this like collector culture versus reader culture? Like, did it change a lot? Do you think from like when we started that we used to read more, or I don't know?
I think from my memories of finding the community, there was unboxing videos, but they tended to be there was a lot of flip throughs, like silent flip throughs. There was a very famous one that it used to be like 3 minutes, and I thought, well, that's good just for those flip throughs. And then when I started doing unboxing videos, because the first time I saw a video, I was like, why are they talking about cardstock? Why is that even an important thing? Because let's be honest, if you two didn't exist and you went into a bookshop and you bought a deck, I don't think you'd open it up and think, oh, cardstock's not very thick. It was just something that was like part of our culture. But they started to become more detailed, and long form videos were a thing. Now everything's going to short form. People want quick TikTok, 30 seconds. Instagram changed to having is it reels, and that even YouTube, and I've got that little bit there now. Shorts they call it on YouTube, but YouTube was always known for long form
Yeah.
content. And I remember somebody saying to me, could have even been Patrick, when I was asking about advice about starting a channel, don't go over 20 minutes, you'll lose people.
But that's what it was also. I think, do you remember when we started, YouTube wasn't allowing you to make longer videos than 15 minutes if you haven't had whatever
1,000
amount of
subscribers.
subscribers. That was like
Yeah.
different story back then. Yeah.
Yeah. You couldn't go live unless you had 1,000 subscribers. You couldn't
Yeah.
monetize. I think you still can't monetize unless you've got 1,000 subscribers. But then, yeah, they restricted your uploading time. So videos tended to be around 20 minutes. And then, with the exception of Kelly from Truth and Story, hers always used to be like an hour. And I was like, how do you get round this?
I know, but she was
Um,
just like going into each car.
yeah.
Everybody was
And
always hanging out. Yeah.
yeah, but so I think that is something that I think has changed. However, in terms of what you was asking about collector, I think rather than reading, there was already like huge channels that were doing astrology readings and tarot readings and for star signs. Libra, here's your reading for
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
There was loads of them, and it was a saturated place. Our community tended to be around community and building and connecting, and because of the weekly live, which that was the only live. We was talking just before we went
Yeah.
on air. You used to have to go to Google Hangouts and connect the two, and it was so complicated. I was saying to Kasia before we went live, I think it took my first ever live took me half a day to work out how to do it. And I even rang Kelly at Truth and Story, and I was like, how do I do this? Getting really frustrated. Now you just use a platform like StreamYard or EV Mux, as I use, and off you go. Um
Yeah.
so what happened was, I think, you would have your community, if that's how you want to call it, but they don't seem to interact like we do, where it's about just readings and doing readings for people. And then you get our community who really started to embrace indie creators,
Yeah.
because like you said, there wasn't many at all. And not only have we embraced indie creators, and we're seeing more, and Kickstarter just went from here to there,
Yeah.
it's pushed up the quality of mass market publishers. And we've seen that in the last 5 years or so. When I remember the first time I picked up Fyodor Pavlov from US Games and thinking, there's no difference now between this and an indie version. So the quality it's driven it that way. And I do think it's the online community that's responsible for that, because we've talked about, oh, we'd love
Yeah.
cards to be borderless, and suddenly there's more borderless cards. Oh, we love matte card stock. How often now do you get a deck that's fully glossy, And so I think they do listen, and I know from my, and you've got contacts as well, but people that I've spoke to at Red Feather, they've said, "Oh yeah, we know so and so because we their marketing team watch what the community is talking about."
Yeah.
Any business is going to have its finger on the pulse of,
Yeah.
what the feel is, and YouTube provides a brilliant audience for companies to look at. So
Yeah.
it has collections have become more popular, I think, than the reading channels will always be big and huge, and people from all over the world want, particularly if you're offering free readings. Um, but our community I think, is quite solid in terms of collector base.
Yeah, and also I think education a little bit, and we like talking about how we also use tarot. It's not just buying and showing decks, but I think I'm always a little bit disappointed with all these voices. You know how tarot community goes, like, no buy here, and I will never have more than one deck. Some people are like very extreme with that. I always find it a little bit like off, because if I'm sure if this person wants to actually buy a deck, they would go on YouTube, they will search for that bloody boring review that some of us put out, and they will know if they want to buy it or not. So I think there's just space for everything. I also not a fan like constantly seeing new decks and stuff, but again, why not? If they are there, somebody has created them, somebody likes to show them, just do it. And there are other, like, it's always cool to have conversation about what we would want to watch more. But I've been on YouTube for over 10 years and constantly putting content like yourself, and I saw waves. It always
Yeah,
dies out, and then whatever stays stays, and you just do your thing and don't worry about it. So this is basically another unsolicited advice for people who have YouTube channels and want to do whatever they want to do. You want to buy decks, show decks, receive decks, just do it, because in the end, we do need, if you want to buy something, you want to see a review of it, you want to see the cards, and you want to hear how is the card stock and so on. But one thing which I think is kind of comical, I remember myself being just like really disappointed with Llewellyn cardstock, the very one from 2016, which now I'm like, oh my God, can we go back to that Llewellyn cardstock? It was so good. It was so easy to shuffle, not too thick, not too like fancy smancy, didn't break. It's like I still have, like, I don't know, like the tarot into the Journey into the Hidden Realm tarot from the very, very first printing. It was such a good cardstock, and I was complaining about it. I'm like, what's wrong with
nice.
me? I think it's a little
I,
bit like, you get on the bandwagon of like, oh yeah, we all want rose petal. Now we all like, I don't like rose petal personally, it's like annoying to use. I mean, if you don't use cards and just like look at them, and fine, but like, this is my livelihood, this is my living, I don't have any other job, this is what I do. So I'm like, come on, like, I want to use it, I don't want it to glue, I don't want to like just hold one card in my hand and think, oh, it's beautiful, it's so soft, it's buttery, and then you shuffle them and you're like it doesn't unglue. I'm like, it's unusable, don't do it, guys. Don't do it,
yeah,
rose petals.
I mean, this deck is like the same as when I've got the
Yeah.
the Hidden Realms as well, the old one. So this deck is the Green Witch, and I love this. And this is what the cardstock was like, which was
Thin.
really, really nice. Yeah, but I bought this deck about 2 years ago for a friend of mine, and mine had the big tuck box, and it wasn't a glossy book. And I bought her this deck, and when I compared them, it was about just over half the thickness,
Yeah.
and it's paper thin now. And I was like, no, it's the same deck, but I'm so fortunate that I've got a 2016 copy
Version.
of this, because yeah, and you're right. It's not until we see some decks and what they're producing now. I mean, at the moment, I think the latest trend in the tarot community is vintage decks. People are going mad for decks, collecting decks from the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and everybody's going on about all the amazing card stock. Um, but yeah, but again, would we even, my friend, if she bought that deck, would she have even looked at it and thought, oh, this card stock's naff? Or is it us that's constantly talking about card stock that
Yeah, yeah.
brings it into people's minds?
I used
I
to be
don't
a bit
know.
of a cardstock snob, but with years of actually using decks, I right now I probably really couldn't care less unless it's like very thick, very like a brick and I can't shuffle it. That's annoying to me because I can't use it basically. But other than that, I remember also for years. Do you remember there used to be these trends borderless with borders, like the edged not edged, yeah, like matte or like shiny, whatever. There was always like fashion in out in out in out. And now I'm totally like, I used to cut all my borders out at the very beginning when we started, like because nobody was printing them borderless. Then
No.
publishers got on and they started also printing borderless, right? Now I think, I review only for Rockpool these days, and oh my god, like the mass produced decks, they like amazing quality. They etch different colors. It's not just like silver, gold, or whatever, right? It's like
Mm.
this is pink, this is green, this is like rainbow, shiny, whatever. And I'm like amazed how that improved from mass market decks. They really good quality now, like really good.
Rockpool are smashing it at the moment with
Yeah,
the quality of their decks. I did the Travis McHenry deck as a premiere this afternoon. It's an older deck. It's the Magicians, Martyrs, and Madmen deck. But yeah, beautiful gilding, beautiful matte card stock. Last week I did the Hieronymus Bosch in this beautiful silvery blue, and just
yeah.
really, really good quality that they're producing.
And that never happened before because before we had like Los
No,
Carabeo, like also Rockpool, any like what was it, the Schiffer publishing, right? But they were always like normal decks, and then you had the
yeah.
indie, which were amazing for us, and we like, oh my god, like indie is so amazing. So now it's kind of equalized really when we think of quality. I mean, indie always have that special sometimes, like little touches or something that people do when they even send the deck to you, etc. So that's always lovely. And like I just love creating supporting indie creators because sometimes those publishing deals are not that fair, I think, for people.
Yeah.
But I think it really depends because I'm thinking of Lorian Anderson, let's say Anderson, from the Witches seasons of the Witch.
Mm.
Wow, like if not for the mass mass publishing, like she reached like the whole world basically with the seasons of the Witch, and most of people like it. And some people complain, some not, but like most of people like it. And there's like, it would never probably happen if it was just indie.
Yeah.
That's kind of
No,
nice.
that's right. But I mean, do you remember? Well, I remember Bone Stone and Earthflesh when that first got released, and everybody was like metallic red for
Oh
an
yeah.
edge deck. It was like it was the first time I'd ever seen anything like because all we got was either gold or silver. Usually gold. If you
Yes.
was going to get a gilded deck, it was gold, and that was it. But even that was quite rare to get something gilded. It was like,
Which one was silver? Do you remember the one which was like this kind of pale water color? Was this
is it
fountain
this might
tarot?
hurt?
Fountain
Oh,
tarot.
fountain.
They were
Yeah,
silver. They
fountain.
were like one of maybe of the first silver that we saw.
Yeah.
But like this one, I had to buy. I'm like, oh my god, I just want it. Do you know this one? I only bought it because of the.
I remember you showing it. I mean, that's insane.
Please, I need it.
That's funny.
I'm like, oh wow, that's new. I want it. Ah, that's funny. All right, because I'm totally like lost with where we were. Is there anything in the chat that we I missed it. How are you guys
Uh,
going? I hope
People are talking.
everybody's having fun.
Yeah, they're talking about loving things like linen cardstock.
Oh
Um,
yeah,
yeah, and Indie Lights ears was edged in green. So Indie Lights ears I have here because we I think we was going to talk about as well some of the decks that have been like standout decks since we've been around. But
yeah,
this is
the
the
indie.
green that
Yeah,
yeah that
yeah,
Donna was talking about.
yeah. That's true. So that was yeah. Chris Ann's decks were in general, even the Sacred Creators Oracle. I remember when she came up with that. That was like so beautiful. One of the first like
Yeah.
indie decks I backed on Kickstarter. I remember it was yeah. All right. So wait, what else? So we mentioned a little bit. Okay, so what do you think doesn't work for you on YouTube these days compared to what worked, like when we were starting? Like, and here we have this point about, algorithms, longer videos, shorter videos, shorts, something like it wasn't even there when we started. The funny thumbnails.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's the
Or like,
doomsday. It's the last tarot deck ever printed.
yeah,
Genuinely.
this deck really surprises me.
But you know what? I did couple of those and they fucking work. It's crazy. I mean, I don't know what it is
Yeah.
in us humans that we like. She's got a.
That's the whole clickbait thing, isn't it? You know,
Yeah.
and I've never been a clickbaity person, but I remember putting something once, I think it was called answering that question. And there's a picture of me kind of like pondering. And everybody was all over it because they didn't know what the question was, you know. And it was just, I think the question was something along the lines of, how can you possibly work with all those decks, you know, that you've got? That's the one I kept getting all the time. So I just thought, oh, answering that question. But yeah, and I thought, yeah, I suppose that's quite clickbaity, but it wasn't intended to be. But I think some of the things that are that you don't see now, um, that were acceptable 10 years ago is like low production quality, I think, was just what it was 10, 11, 12 years ago. And there were people who, you know, would invest in cameras and lights and all that, but it wasn't a thing like it is now. And I think I'm seeing more and more videos that are so polished, you know, with different camera angles and different lighting and beautiful intros. I mean, my intro is just with my camera filming around my front room. Do you know what I mean?
I don't even have
Um,
an intro, Simon.
but the whole sort of real branded thing, I think, is what we're seeing more of now, and that rarely wasn't a thing. I don't think anybody had an intro
No.
when we first started. Um, I think clicking just clicking upload was enough back then, um, and now the algorithms are much more in play, and I feel for channels just starting out, and that's why I do shout outs. I did another one yesterday on my live because unless you've got something straight away to hook somebody in, it's really hard to get
Yeah.
started with a channel.
Yeah.
Um, and people give up because they think, well,
Yeah.
nobody's interested. And it's not that people aren't interested, it's that there isn't that hook there for the algorithm to snatch your
Yeah.
content and shove it out.
Yeah. And
Whereas
here
when we,
actually, yeah. Sorry, can I just
no,
like shout you
yeah,
out?
yeah,
Because I think you were one of the first people that I remember that like I did the interviews with creators, but you did the kind of catch ups with people from community, which was really, really
yeah,
lovely. And I think you were, I think probably the first maybe that like had other channels come to and chat like we have Zooms now, right?
yeah,
And the
yeah,
Taroton. That was all you. That
yeah.
was so much fun. I love that.
So in that first year, I started in March and I did my first video because, as I said, I was encouraged to do it. And then I sat there and thought, now what? Now I don't know what to do, you know? I don't want to just do unboxing videos, but what else can I do? And then I started a live, which was Cup of Catering Cards in September of 2017. But then in that first year, lots of channels started appearing. So, like I mentioned, Brian Cormac Carr and Jeff Burr and Jennifer Ball, and all these people started to appear. And I thought, I want to get to know these people. So then I thought, well, why don't why don't I interview them? I want to get to know them, so why don't I just interview them? And then Cup of Catchment Cards became catching up with, and it was just a let's come and have a chat. Let's have a cuppa together, and let me just ask you what your tarot journey, spiritual practices are, just a little bit about you. And I really enjoyed doing that. And I didn't intentionally stop doing them. People, and I always used to say, I'm not going to ask anybody. If you want to be interviewed, just hook me up, send me an email and
Yeah,
I'll interview you. And then, things just change over time and less people started asking and
yeah,
then, and now the odd time there'll be a a deck creator that I might invite on, like,
yeah,
I think the last one was Ross Salerno with his new choice tarot, say, or Michael J. Auger from did El Cento Tarot. So, but yeah, I loved that. That was something that I really
yeah.
enjoyed,
Yeah, and I
know
think
people in the
that's like
community.
that was like really really cool and still is, you know. I think you became like a big glue in the community as well. How do you think about we mentioned it a little bit before we went live that you know before that the community was big, but yeah, like yourself, like you kind of needed a little bit of encouragement to start YouTube videos. Wasn't so maybe I don't know easy to start or like it was just different. Nowadays I think the community is big and like there's a lot of new channels that come up, like if somebody wants to participate in a tag or people want to share you know this new deck they got, like they just start new channel. And I think there's a lot more people in tarot community these days that you know come on and just
Yeah.
want to share something, which I think it's so cool.
Oh,
Maybe hard
absolutely.
to find sometimes, but I think people start to tag each other and like you know
Mm.
come like we get to know each other like this usually through tags or they comment under your video or something. Usually we go and check it out as well, right? Because we also like to get to new people. But I think you're right with algorithm. Like I feel like I am watched less, and even when I think of like your channel or my channel, like I feel like we're in some kind of bracket. Like you can't jump over certain amount of views. It feels like it. I mean, I don't know,
Yeah.
but it feels like
No.
it, you know. It doesn't matter if you have 23,000 followers or whatever. Like you rarely get, let's say, over 5,000 views or something, you know. And the same with me. Like I rarely get over 2,000 views because of I don't know if it's true or if it just
It's absolutely true, Kasha. And 23,000 subscribers, but there'll only be ever around 300 active people. 22,500 are people who are no longer on YouTube, perhaps, or
or they
people who
don't
might have
see
even,
you or they don't see at all that you're
yeah,
posting something. Yeah.
yeah. It just builds over time and it's to do with longevity, but also you're absolutely right, because if I do a vlog, every month I go and I travel somewhere and I vlog and I enjoy doing it, but it's not a vlog that's um, beautifully put together. It's like a camcorder video. I want the rawness of it. It will get about 600 views. If I do an oracle deck, it will get 500 or 600 views. Tarot tends to be around 1,000 views,
Yeah. Yeah.
but it'll only be something, if you've got a first look at something, then you can have 2 or 3,000 views.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when Anatorian sent me an advanced copy of Tarot of Echoes, that was a first look video, and it had 1,000 views by when I went to bed and woke up the next morning.
Yeah.
And I sent her this message. I said, "Wow, your deck is going to be huge. It's had 1,000." And she went, "That's because it's the only one on YouTube, Simon, at the minute." And I was like, oh, "Okay." Um, so there are certain videos you make and you kind of know the views, but as somebody who I don't monetize, so to me it doesn't matter if a video gets 100 views or 1,000 views, because I'm not in it for that. It's
Yeah,
just I enjoy making my content. Whereas some people would also look at, say, well, I'm not going to do vlogs anymore because they only get 500 views.
yeah,
Doesn't matter. I enjoy making them, and
yeah,
it's content. And
yeah.
those 500 that watched it leave messages saying, really enjoyed this, or I'm disabled and I can't get to travel, so I'm living vicariously through you. And that's like, wow, I'm really glad I do this.
Yeah,
So,
that's totally like commenting helps a lot. So that's also like for people who watch us or other channels as well. Like it really helps when you guys comment, when you press this little like button. It just gives this algorithm some kind of food for thought. But
yeah,
I do monetize because like this is my living. Like this is my bread. I don't have a
yeah,
job to go to. This is
absolutely.
what I do. And I also find it like there are some new people on YouTube who are like, in general, these people come and go, but like these criticisms against, and like everybody does what they can do. If you have a job
Absolutely.
you go to and you have a living paid for and you can pay for your bills, well, don't monetize. I'm not going to shit on somebody who has ads. I pay for YouTube not to have ads. I pay for it.
Yeah, same.
Same,
Yeah, yeah,
but don't ask me not to monetize. I want to monetize because this is bringing me a little bit with these views I
yeah.
have, not much, but at least something, that I can add to paying for something else, So
and
this is my
and that you
life,
could
and
and that you can put back into your channel and continue to make great content from it. If I
exactly.
mean, I work and I've got a really good job and it's a really good paid job. I'm never going to complain about that. If I suddenly didn't have that job, then I would monetize because it would be my income stream.
Of course.
However, at the moment, because my job is really demanding, I can't, if I monetize, there are certain things I've got to do to always be trying to get views. And do you know what I mean? And I just
Yeah.
think I don't want that. Things might change in the future, but
I
at
think
the
you don't have
moment,
to, Simon, to be honest, I don't think you have to do anything different. I don't do anything different. Maybe that's why my monetization sucks so much and I don't earn much because I'm also not really in it for monetization. Like I'm here because I want to be here, right? I
mm,
just monetize on the side of it. Like if I can monetize, please, yes, YouTube, give me some money back,
yeah,
especially that I pay you not to watch ads. And you know what I mean? It's kind of like a little bit, somebody can say it's a bit weird that I pay YouTube not to watch ads, yet I do monetization, but like it does help me. And I just want to really make clear that sometimes I watch those people on YouTube, these new channels that come up, and this kind of like critique towards people who monetize, or if you have Patreon, come and pay me. Well, I can hang out with you here, this is my community, like yes, you can hang out with me here, but you cannot really converse with me, you cannot really have people from community now in the chat, yes, but I want to hear them, so maybe on Patreon they can come and have Zoom with me live, and I just always get shitty about it. I'm just thinking, dude, you have a job you go to, you get money. Go and preach to your own fucking choir. Like, go away. Let
but
people
do,
be.
but I also think that those people, and we touched on it earlier about clickbait. I do think that there are certain people who also like to be controversial or make that sort of content because people enjoy it. People love tea spilling. Let's be honest. As much as we probably say that we don't, whenever, and that's another thing of the last 10 years, there have been controversies, there's been falling outs, there have been disputes, there's been, and when we started, we was talking again just before we went live, I could think of 10 content creators in our community. And it was very small, very close knit. Everybody got on. And within probably 2 years, it fractured and different people, and that's natural as communities grow, they subdivide and that sort of thing. But if you put things out there that is a little bit edgy or a little bit controversial, or there's a little bit of drama going down, then it attracts views. Um,
Yeah.
and you know, I
We
there
remember
was
you
so
being the hero of some dramas in the past. Loads of views. I happen to be
and
like
I
in a minor drama, but usually I kind of avoid this type of
yeah
controversies. But yeah,
I remember I took a break from YouTube, not a big break, a couple of months back in 2018, and I didn't make a big exit. I just said, look, I'm stepping back for a bit. I just need to concentrate on myself. And then when I
yeah,
came back, I just said, look, you will never see on my channel tea spilling. You'll never see gossip. It's divisive. It's not good energy for me, and I'm here. I'm going back to the reason why I started a channel, which was to build community, to make friends, to feel a kinship with people through a common thing that we all love, which for me is tarot and divination. And if you want that, then go elsewhere. It's not going to happen here. And
yeah,
I've pretty much stuck by that, you know. And
yeah.
I saw the other week people talking about some drama, and I put on the comment, I'm totally oblivious to this, and I'm happy being oblivious to. I still don't know what it is, you know.
Same.
I'm just going on about this drama, and I'm like, well, I don't know what it is, but I don't want to know what
Yeah,
it's about.
yeah. I'm the same. Most of it kind of I might see something, but I never like go into it and engage. But also I think Three of Witches said Sharon, right? That yeah, everybody complains about hauls and reviews, but like hauls, 10 the best decks, 10 decks never leaving my collection or whatever. Like they always get the most views. Still with me the
Yeah,
same. Even though
and
most of us don't want to watch those. Like we
no,
all go
but
and watch them.
they also build community because
Exactly.
it was a tag that brought me into the community. My first ever video was a tag to Arwen Lynch. There's another name.
Arwen
Um,
Lynch, yes.
yeah, you know, it was her tag that I thought, well, I can answer those. So I'm going to start a channel and answer it. And then I did, like I said, that what next? But um, tags and the channel shout out I gave yesterday was somebody who started in the last week and did one of my tags, which was get to know your tarot tubers, which
Say
is a
again, who
great
is
one.
this? Who is this? Say.
It's called the Doctor in Yellow, and he is a doctorate student, and he's very articulate. And he said, I love the tarot community, and all I want to do, because there's enough wisdom within the tarot community, is just add my voice to it. And he's
Yeah,
got such a great personality, I thought. And I watched his tarot tube as A to Z. It was only his third video, and I thought he's brilliant. And I just thought at the time he had 17 subscribers, and I thought, yeah, he deserves a kickstart. Let's
yeah,
shout him out and let's get the community behind him. And I looked this morning, I think he was up to 60 something. So, you know, is
yeah,
yeah, so and I just thought that's what people need. And people did it for me, you know. Kelly
yeah.
at Truth is Story, she
Kelly,
put in
yes.
she said, oh, Simon's created a video,
Yeah,
you know, go and
same for
watch him.
me. Yeah,
And I'll
same.
always be grateful for that little nudge, because the
Yeah,
algorithms are brutal, you know. And like I said, unless you've got something that, and usually it's by making controversial content, then it doesn't pick you up.
yeah. And I
So
remember we used to do the Ethany's 30 days of tarot or with tarot, something like that. Do you remember? When one kind of hashtag a day with
30
something
days of
like
tarot,
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Every January.
That's true. Yeah, that was fun. I think that's how I also met a lot of people from tarot community. So these things connect us, and these things kind of give us some like common denominator that we all like come across.
And
Yeah,
you mentioned Tarot Tube, Tarothon as well, briefly earlier.
yeah,
That was 8 years ago, and that was again just a way to connect everybody, because what I realized was that between us as a community, we'd got the world covered. You know, there was people
yeah,
in all over Europe, like yourself. I think you used to follow me, like I'd
yeah,
say, right, I'm going to hand over to Kasha now. So Tarathon was 24 hours of continuous live streaming. And lives weren't big in 2018, which is the year it started. We did it for 4 years.
yeah,
Um, but we would start at 10 a.m. in the UK and finish at 10 a.m. in Australia.
Yeah,
And
that was
it,
so
it
cool.
reminded, and the reason why I called it Tarathon was because it reminded me of the 1980s when you'd have like children in need and these telethons where people would ring up and you'd have worldwide events like Live Aid and I Ran the World and all this sort of thing. And I thought, wouldn't it be great to get people from all over the world contributing to this 24-hour
Yeah.
live stream? People such as yourself who just like jumped on that and embraced it, and
Yeah, and
it
we
was
were like
great.
sharing also, not just like we were sharing education and what we like about
Yeah,
tarot, and we were kind of teaching a bit, right? Like it was all these different subjects that we covered. It was interesting.
yeah.
So, what else do we have? Anything there in the chat? I think people are.
Taratubers come and go, so it's nice to learn about new channels. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and okay, I'm just looking at our notes. FOMO. Does FOMO still exist now since we have like access to more decks maybe, and a lot of mass market decks are kind of more affordable, but they still beautiful. Do we still get FOMO, do you think?
My FOMO now is for historic decks, and decks that I can't get. So I've got a wish list, but it's very small. It's probably got about 10 decks on it, but it's decks that either are in the US, and that now has become unfortunately harder and harder to get because of the
Yeah.
shipping costs. They've just doubled. And
Okay.
then you've got your tax and your imports and everything else. So you're looking at £100 plus, which is an investment, right, for a deck. And so now I see decks that I think, it's gone out of print. That's when I get FOMO because it becomes so hard to get, and you think, that's out of print. And I love it when I can trade with somebody. If somebody's got a
Yeah.
deck and it says, "Well, I've got that." Me and Tammy Pie just did one because I wanted a new deck that was from America, and she wanted an out of print deck, and I was like, "Well, I've got an out of print deck that I don't use." So we did a
Yeah.
trade. That was brilliant. It just cost us the cost of shipping.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's so FOMO is different because I remember seeing Dark Mansion and I had to have the wooden box and I had to have and that was FOMO. And I bought it and I never used it.
Yeah.
And then I thought, no, I'm not doing this FOMO anymore because the FOMO is because it could go out of print,
Yeah.
or it's a limited edition. Oh, there's only 150 copies of this, and you
Yeah.
think, oh, there's only 150 copies, and I'm gonna
Yeah.
I'm gonna miss out. But no, not so much now like it used to be. What about
Yeah.
yourself?
You know what? I do get FOMO sometimes, but I'm by character, I think. I'm just not kind of easily influenced, or like I call it like this. I'm kind of like I pave my own FOMO. So sometimes I do get it. You know what I realized? We have some question also from before I forget, and it goes further. After 10 years on tarot tube, what suggestions do you have for new tarot tubers? So maybe Simon, you can just write it down so we can, and I finish my thought because I wanted to say that like I realized there's one deck that I had twice. I once probably swapped it and once maybe sold it. I can't remember. And also, I want to say as a digression, like it's how cool that we swap decks. I remember that it was so popular. I don't know if people still do it, but I have so many swaps, and we have this Tarot EU group. I think you there, Simon, as well, right? On Facebook, that we swap decks in within
Yeah,
European Union and UK. When UK was in European Union, it was easy, but
yeah.
now it's a bit more difficult. But those
Tarot Traders EU. Yeah,
Team Allen, Facebook groups, and so, like I used to swap a lot of decks with people from all over the globe. It was really cool. But like this one deck that I had twice, the Invisible Light Tarot. If anybody has it and wants to swap, because it went out of print in the end. Now I really have FOMO about it. I can't get it anywhere. And I had it twice, and I'm like, fuck, I can't believe I just let it go twice. And now I really want it because, my taste kind of changed. I thought like I don't use it, so at second time I thought I don't want it. But yeah, it was really funny. So, what is this one deck that you would really want, like your one top of your list?
Oh, top of my list. Let me have a look. I'll just write down those things as well about the advice. Let me have a look. Deck wish list. So, where'd it come up? Deck wish list. I have many notes now on my. So, top of my. Well, there's the Nemeth Tarot. I really want that one. One that's I think is still available, but too costly is the Ruined Edifice. Um, I want the Nap Hall out of print. I've got a couple of Nap Halls, but the one that came out about 2018 in the blue box, Slow Holler, I let that one go, Kasha. I let it go in a trade, and
I
then
never
I've
had it
like,
because it was out of print forever. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. Um, but yeah, Tarot Color River, Melaschema. Um,
Oh,
but yeah,
Melaschema just came out, right? Melaschema just came out. I saw it also. It's beautiful.
I think I looked and it was just the cost of getting it
Yeah.
from a particular place. But
Don't you have like friends coming and going to US? Because that's what helps me. Like for example, like I think I purchased this one and I purchased it to the US, and then my friend was coming to Poland and she just brought me these decks. So
not that I think of, but
yeah, because that's like a good way to get the
yeah,
decks if somebody is kind
yeah.
enough to like put a
But
deck.
like I said, with Tammy Pie, she got me the Ooses Lux Tarot, which has just come out
Oh yeah,
because
yeah,
that would have been so expensive to get. But because I'd got an out of print deck she wanted, we was able just to
yeah.
trade it. So there's always ways. There's always ways to get
Yeah,
them. But
Donna said
it,
that like Esther from Mindful Tarot just shared that she spent almost $900 for dollars for Pam A. But yeah, that's like
yeah,
very unique. Like
I can remember the day she got that. She got a Roses and Lilies, and she got a Pame, and yeah, she just did my tag a few days ago and showed it again. And she's had these presentation boxes made for them, and I'm like,
yeah,
oh, that's a collection to die for, isn't it?
yeah. Now people are sharing how much they spent for the decks. I think Sharon said 300. It's max she spent. I actually spent 370 something for Carol Herzer with glitter. That was the most I spent on a deck.
Yeah, I got my two Carol Hertz, and it's not a glitter one, but it's the illuminated and the starlight. I got them both in a trade, so I was quite lucky for that. And it's on the thicker card stock. I think the most I've spent is the gold one. That's the Marco Benedetti.
Oh yeah, that's
Um,
beautiful.
it's it's handmade and it's actual gold on the cards, and it's personalized to you. So it's got your name on it and all that sort of stuff, and it's absolutely a beautiful, beautiful deck. It's one that I'll treasure, and I think this was 200 and I want to say 250. I think, but and it's in a wooden
Yeah,
box. It's just beautiful.
yeah,
And Jamie Sawyer's tarot tiles, I think was 200, and that was the most I'd spent at the time before this.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, so that's the most I think I've spent. What's that?
I'm just annoying people. People want Dream of Niles, and I remember how much I wanted Dream of Niles, and then I backed it on the Kickstarter because I couldn't find the first edition. So now people say that like, yeah, Dream of Niles, they really want it. I know how it feels. I really. So if you, I don't know if it's still on sale. Maybe it's not. I'm not sure. But yeah, Dream of Nile just came out from Kickstarter. I was very excited to get it. I was trying to swap for it for ages for the first edition, and I couldn't find it. It was funny. Sorry.
It looks beautiful.
All
Um,
right.
yeah. So
Yeah.
one of the questions was, what advice could we give to a content creator or go back and tell ourselves? I personally, I would say, if knowing what I know now after 10 years of being on YouTube, go back and tell myself this advice, I would firstly, I'd say develop a thick skin because people will leave those comments, people will talk about you in other videos. Develop a thick skin. Just be yourself because I can't be anybody else. And I realized when I started a channel that there was already voices out there that I looked up to and admired, and I didn't want to be them. I just wanted to be authentically me. And what I found very quickly is people gravitate to you because of who you are and because of your authenticity. And you create your own, I don't want to use the word tribe because it's not PC, but you know what I mean, your own kind of community as well as being part of a bigger community. Make content that you enjoy making. Don't be pressured into making a particular type of video. If you enjoy unboxings, make unboxings. If you don't enjoy doing altar tours or whatever it is that you enjoy watching, make make as well content that you enjoy because then you're more likely to stick at it because you're enjoying it. Don't let people gatekeep you because people will always say, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that. And I approach tarot in my way, and it's not always the same way as. And I've had people say, "Oh, you can't overlay your RWS knowledge onto a Marseille deck, or you can't." And I'd say, who are you to say what is right or
Yeah,
wrong? You
yeah,
know, at the end of the day, it's 78 cards with images on them. And whether you read intuitively, whether you've studied to the nth degree and you've got this academic knowledge, whatever, when you lay the cards down, you see what you see and you interpret what you interpret, whether that's underpinning knowledge, whether that's a mix of intuition or pure intuition, whether you're seeing six um as in after the disruption you've got the harmony of the six, you're seeing it as from a numerological perspective, or whether you whatever do what you do and don't be keep kept by anybody because people will tell you how you should be doing stuff, and you do you, let them do them, and just enjoy what you're doing. And if you're being yourself, you will attract people like you. And then before you know it, you've got a lovely community around you.
yeah,
And I think I've said before, I've always been in my past, before finding YouTube, a bit of a spiritual shopper. So I studied Buddhism, I studied with Brahma Kumaris, I was brought up a Mormon. I've got this past, but I always felt like I didn't belong. I always felt like I was a wallflower, and I just don't know what it was. I just didn't feel comfortable. But here in this community, I feel at home and I feel I can pretty much say anything I want to say, and people will accept it, knowing that it's authentic and it's coming from a good place,
yeah,
and I'm not about bringing anybody else down. And when I do see those videos you mentioned earlier, I'm like, not
yeah.
interested. I'm not going to subscribe. I
Same.
don't like that. I'm about lifting people up and building community, not getting pleasure out of slagging others
Yeah.
off.
And I agree. I think if I started now, probably because YouTube changed so much, I thought like, oh, it'd be so cool if I did like a video course or video editing course, I'd be like, I would like to make it like nicer. I still don't know how. I mean, it's like I still can do it, right? It's not like I can't do it now, but like if I started now, from the get-go, I would have like nicer lighting, something like, I don't know, something flashy. I'd probably, if I wasn't myself, I would maybe dress more like I usually dress like an artist and a crazy person, but like, what people used to like, people just like the kind of, you don't stand out too much, but like you pretty enough to like look at me. So I'm not saying that this is my advice to you to do it, but just like, I think I stuck to myself and I never regretted anything. Like, my first advice is like, just be honest, because truth reaches people in the end. And a lot of these like beautifications, they do fall off. They like
Mm.
loud for a while, then they go. I think, yeah, truth speaks to people. You resonate with truth when it's spoken, even if you don't agree or you don't, I always on my channel, and I think for everybody who starts a new channel, just allow conversations. Like, who
Mm.
wants people who only think like you?
Hmm.
Like, this is boring. Like, I'm happy to hear other people's opinions, even if I don't agree with them. I'm
Yeah.
happy to hear other people's opinions. I just really require everybody to be like civil about it. So if you in my comments, you're going to probably get deleted if you like nasty. Just go
Yeah.
away. I don't care. Delete. Block. Go.
Yeah.
Not interested. That may be that thick skin, but I think be yourself, speak your truth. People who resonate with you will come. Like you and myself, probably when in the beginning, when you start, you might be thinking, oh, am I going to go and do another deck review that's already five of those there? Or am I going to talk about, I don't know, the Fool again? Like there is millions of videos about the Fool. But your voice is unique. And in some
Yeah.
way, there is always something new we learn from other people's perspective. That's why there is like millions tarot booklets, and you find this one sentence about the fool that you haven't read anyone anywhere else,
Yeah.
and you're like, oh my god, this is so cool, I love that, and then you start using it in your interpretations, right? So I
Mm.
think, yeah, that's what you mentioned about this, like honesty, transparency, authenticity, just be yourself in it. And do tags. I know people are like, nah, 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 just only tags and tags. I'm like, shh.
Well,
Do
yeah,
tags. Tags are fun, and tag
yeah,
people you like to maybe make a VR to you. This is also how you connect. It's really hard these days. It was easier before to get views, to get people, to get community, to get conversation going. Now it's really hard to stand out. And not just
yeah,
for us, even for like, let's say more famous people than are in tarot community. It's really hard.
yeah.
So don't feel discouraged. Like it's
Well, I,
come
I-
on.
I'll share a secret with you, but I won't name them because, like I said, I'm not about that. But when I did my first tag way back, I got a message from somebody who was quite prominent in the tarot community saying you should really leave the tags to the tarot aficionados, and I was like, what? What?
Who is that? Who is tarot
Yeah,
aficionados?
yeah. Who is this elite group that I don't know? And no word of a lie, I was like, wow. And I'd watched that channel for a long time and I was like, wow, you've got such an opinion of yourself. Anyway, I just carried on making tags. I was like, no, I'm not going to be told by somebody that tarot tags aren't for, and that they are great because they're great to, if you want to start a channel, it's an easy jumping off point. But they're great because if you click on that tag, it brings up channels you've never seen before.
Yeah,
And you watch them and you think, I like you. And going back to your point about it doesn't matter if there are 30 walkthrough videos of the same deck. I'll go to the ones that I know I resonate with and think, oh, I like their views on. We have similar tastes. So I'll listen to what they have to say. And if I'm thinking about investing in a deck, I'll watch three or four, maybe more, sometimes walkthroughs of the same deck,
yeah,
just to get that differing opinions of it. And I think
exactly.
that's healthy. So
Yeah. So I think that's yeah, I agree. That's exactly what I would suggest new tarot channels do. And yeah, just do you. Don't
yeah,
worry. Don't worry too much about
absolutely.
algorithm. Like you can see also these wonders, it happens. Some people just hit it. Like there is this girl, she's like Polish heritage, Galantia Slavic or something like this. She was so surprised. Like she just opened her Instagram, and like within like 3 weeks, 50,000 follow. It happens. Like it
Yeah.
happens. So uh, we might not be the best examples. You still did so much better than me. I'm still on like
Yeah.
whatever. So it's and again, like when we compare each other like this, it doesn't make any sense because like you have a totally different also like trajectory, like for you this is more a hobby and you're sharing, like you in it for, like, I come from work and I want to talk about my passion. For me it's
Mm.
a little bit, this is also my work, so I also sometimes, advertise my readings or something, like, because I'm sorry, like, this is what also YouTube actually brings a lot of clients to me, because
Yeah.
you wouldn't go to a tarot reader or an astrologer from like a written ad in the newspaper, I'm sorry.
Not
Like
anymore.
you like, okay, I like you, I
Yeah.
want to try this. I
Yeah.
like your energy, people feel like they know me, they trust me, they've seen me, they watched me, and then, so for me, I might not have, let's say, 50,000 followers, but I still find it helpful for my work to get new clients, because people can verify they've seen me for years. I'm not like going to take their money and run, like, I'm here, right? Like, people know it. So to compare myself to you now and go, oh my God, Simon started after me and he got more followers. I don't like Simon. I don't like him. It's like ridiculous, because we have totally all different like versions of this, and people come to
Yeah.
you nevertheless. Like, they might, like, I like watching your reviews because you calm me down, like, you slower, and I'm like gesticulating a lot and like doing a lot of blah, blah, blah.
I do think as well though, my channel growth in the early years were because of the reasons I mentioned. One, I was male, and that was quite unique. Two, I was British male, and all I used to get was, "Oh, I love your accent. I love your accent. I love your voice." That was all I used to get, and that that growth in that first year was the biggest growth I've ever had. Um, and so I think that it was because of that uniqueness at the time.
Yeah.
It's slowed down, but again, it's not something I have to worry about because I just enjoy doing what I'm doing. But there were people, and thankfully, they're not in my life, where I thought I'd got some friendships, but then as my channel went, they did get quite sort of, and I'd
Yeah.
hear them saying to other people on other channels and typing in comments on live streams, "Don't know why he's so popular," and this sort of thing. And I'd be like,
Yeah.
"Wow, we used to be quite good friends or friends."
Yeah.
Now I've met a lot of the tarot community in real life, like Sandra and Kelly and
Yeah.
Becca and people
Yeah.
like that I call friends. But yeah, there was quite a lot of that in the first
Yeah.
couple of years where there was a bit of jealousy, and I used to think, why? Because if it was the other way around, I don't think I'd be like that. There are people that
Yeah.
skyrocketed past me, and that's just, it doesn't matter, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, somebody said that you help them with depression, and I think
Oh, is
we
that
all
golden?
like
That's,
have,
oh,
like, we all have our like unique something. It's a spark, and it's whoever speaks, like, so just be you,
yeah,
and don't compare
yeah,
yourself, because you never know really who has what agenda and what we come with, what's our, so, like, be honest and be authentic, and people who like you will come to you. And sometimes more views or more followers doesn't mean that, I don't get clients. I do get clients. I don't need millions of followers. I mean, it's always
yeah,
great to have more followers, because you always want new clients, right? Because also,
yeah.
if you're a reader, like, you don't want to cheap people and for your clients to come to you every fucking month. You're like, no, 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 deal. But so yeah, that's
Yeah.
interesting. Anyway, all right, what else do we have? Um,
Uh,
Diversity. Oh, that's actually interesting, because we both, like, for example, I miss Queen Osset.
has she gone completely?
Well, I
The
don't see her.
content's still up.
Yeah, her content is
Yeah,
still up, thank God. But yeah, I wish she was sometimes
yeah,
just come on. I miss her. I sometimes write her messages, but she doesn't really reply. Or I can see she hearts it or something. But, like, yeah, I miss her. So if she ever gets to watch it, come back. You've been missed. But I think that was interesting, because she was definitely one of those voices that made us realize much more of what, for example, the less represented folks were they're going through, right? And then when if you put yourself like, okay, like, I have a darker skin tone, or I'm from another, like, just culture, like, I'm Asian, or I'm I'm Black American, or I'm from Africa, or I'm Moroccan, or, and you just see this like, tarot all also white. It was like
Mm.
this. So, and that
Yeah.
changed, which is kind
Yeah.
of cool.
One of the standout moments again from the last 10 years is when Queen Orsett led just after the George Floyd murder. And there was a whole discussion in the community about diversity and representation. We're seeing it more in depth now because it was if it happened at all in tarot, it was very tokenistic. It was like a box ticking, we covered that with the card of the Three of Swords or whatever. And then she asked the community from all walks of life to get behind her and do a collaborative live. And I think there was about, I don't know, 30 channels all on this
Yeah, quite a
screen.
lot of
And
us. Yeah.
yeah, and to show our solidarity and support. And I do remember somebody saying to me, Simon, you do your catching up with interviews, but you never seem to interview many people of colour. And I thought that's a fair point. I don't. And even though my stance was, I don't ask people to be interviewed, because I don't want to put pressure on anybody. I let them come and say, could I? And I thought maybe I should start asking, more people of colour to, because maybe they daren't ask me because perhaps they feel that I might say no, which I never would, of course. And I remember it was the lovely Kim. I remember saying, "Do you want to do a channel takeover?" And on a catch up and live, I just advertised I was going to go live. And when it went live, I wasn't there. Kim was there, and she
Kim from
said, "This,
Abundant Life Tarot. Kim?
yeah,
Yeah, she's
yeah,
here. Hi, Kim.
yeah, Kim." And she said something along the lines of, "I know you're expected to see Simon for your cup of ketchup and cards tonight, but you've got me." And
That's an awesome
it was,
idea.
yeah, it was really well received, I think, and I really enjoyed that. Um, but I mean, Kim's channel is great, and she's somebody else
Yeah,
that's been around for such a
that's
long
true.
time. But there were still people in the comments afterwards saying, "Thank you for doing that because I didn't know about Kim." And
Yeah,
probably if it had been the other way around, people would have said to Kim, "Thanks for doing that. I didn't know about Simon," or maybe tonight, on your channel.
yeah,
So it's just it was a great way to introduce people to other members of the community, because at the time the thought was that a lot of underrepresented groups didn't have the same platform, and
yeah,
I wanted to change that because we should all have the same platform.
yeah.
And
And I think we kind of, it did change a lot, I think, because we do have a lot of, and it's not just about skin colors, but just different body shapes, right? It was also
yeah,
about just more inclusivity in general. And sometimes it can get to extreme that you feel like artists cannot now make a deck they want. Like, let's say, I don't know, somebody is black and they just want to make a deck with black people, or like I'm white and I love flowers and I just want to make a deck with, like you don't always have to put everything into a like one project, but it was just so disproportionate though that I think it's really nice that people started talking about it, that it was like put out there, and we have different cultures represented, different religions, etc. So I don't know how you guys feel about it. Is it much better? So that's probably a question to maybe less represented folks, if they feel like it's good enough, or is it still, like much work to be done? We would love to hear from you in the comments, but definitely even Tarot de Marseille, with a lot of different representations, and the change of court cards from this fucking kings and queens and this blah blah blah. That's like people became so much more creative, like in this flower tarot. There's like yin and yang for the king and queen, and we started doing all these different, people started imagining how would it be if we didn't have that hierarchy, or this old historical kind of really not fitting our modern DNA like what else can we do as court cards rather than those, you know, knights and kings and queens? So I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah,
What
I
what
think I think it's getting better. It's bound to, because as I said, when we started, it was a very small community. There were people from different backgrounds in the community at the time that I can remember. But as we've grown as a community, um, it has become more global, and there is more voices. And if I look down my subscription list, I think I feel it's quite varied, in terms of lots of different voices from different backgrounds. Um, so
Yeah, it's always was.
I think we're getting there.
Yeah, and I think I like just about this. I always get really excited that for my clients that I get a lot of guys as well. I'm not
Yeah,
just a tarot reader or astrologer for women. That always made me like, ah, that's good.
yeah.
Because my thing is always to like bring, like I don't want an extreme female or extreme male. Like
Well,
I want that.
that's really interesting, because, with the exception of one, I had my tarot reading business for 3 years until I started my new job, and it was just too much. So I shut down my shop. But all of my clients were female, except for one male, which was a friend, Dan. Yeah, they were all female. Isn't that strange? So I don't think it's necessarily that males necessarily might want a reading from a male. I don't know, but that's just an
Yeah.
observation I hadn't really thought about for a couple of years. But at the time, I was thinking, okay, when I got Dan's request for a reading, I was like, that's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, Kim says that she's been on YouTube since 2017, so kind of the same time as
Yeah,
us.
yeah,
And she said she's seen the evolution of more inclusivity. It used to be an afterthought, yeah, to add
yeah.
diversity, and now it's a bit more intentional. That's true. Yeah, exactly.
Good. I'm glad that that's Kim's experience as well. That's really good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And I think we slowly, because we have some, okay, should we tackle this AI thing or should we just leave it for now
Well,
because we have more interesting things?
I think, looking at the list, I think we're down to the last question anyway, which kind of brings it in. But it's predictions for the next 10 years, isn't it?
Yeah.
Um, because we've been around for 10 years, or a bit longer if we count, our.
Simon,
Um,
bit earlier. I want this question before. Decks that defined the decade. I think that's interesting. And you guys can
oh
join
yes,
in.
yes.
So we asking each other. So I'm asking you, you asking me. Which deck had the biggest impact on tarot community?
So I think
It's
we
like
have.
a big question.
Obviously, Wild Unknown is, it was huge, and it was, everybody was talking about it. The Wild Unknown. And it divided people. Some people just loved it, other people like, no, don't get it. So there was that one. The Light Seers that I mentioned, probably a few years later. I can't remember the year this came out. I think 2019 Light Seers come out. If Chris is still in the chat, he'll know it's his soul deck. And I missed the Kickstarter. When Chris did a second one, it dropped at midnight, and I stayed up till midnight to make sure that I got a copy. And I also got a friend in America to say, you buy 2 decks, I'll buy 2 decks. And then, we make sure we don't lose. And in the end, we didn't need to do that because we was able to get one each. So yeah, so Light Seers was huge. I think Pagan Otherworlds is another one. This was the deck that sort of bridged the gap between Pip and RWS, and it was huge for that. I
And
also
quality, right?
and quality. I
It
mean,
became oozy quality.
everything from the box, the seal, the beautiful playing card, casino grade quality cards. It was, but it was, yeah, it was huge. Um, the Star Tarot, I think, is a deck that sometimes gets overlooked, but again, this was a deck that is kind of thoth. I ended up getting the second version, and I prefer the second version to the first. But this deck, even though the cards stop bows like mad, this deck is just gorgeous, and you can see it's very tough. Uh, but again, it's a deck that bridged the gap, and for it to get a second uh, run, I just think, I mean, that's amazing. And then the last one I wanted to mention that is the most recent, but I think has had the biggest impact is Terra Volatile. I think this is a deck that will stand the test of time and people will refer to for um, for years to come. It's
I don't
just got
have it.
that.
I don't have
Do you
it.
not? Oh, it's amazing, Kasha. It's
Yeah, I
just
like I like the look. Whenever I see it, it's beautiful. But I never kind
I've
of.
got the bigger cards, but there was a printing kind of fault, so it was reduced in price because it was a bit dark. But again, this has that beautiful kind of boozy um, kind of quality to it. But it's an incredible deck. So those, I think, are the standout decks for
Yeah.
me over the last since I've found YouTube.
Donna in the chat said Shadowscapes. I remember this. This was big as well.
Yeah.
I just pulled Mary L because I remember one of my first inspired tarot map interviews was with Mary L, which was like it's one of the most watched because she was kind of so elusive. You don't have anything with her ever on on this deck, and it was like really kind of I remember this was my, I think maybe Wild Unknown was the first like unusual indie deck, but this one was produced by Schiffer, and I remember my first copy I chopped off the borders, of course,
Orders.
because we were all borderless. Then I thought, shit, I don't know what the card means because I chopped off the names. So then I got another copy because then I wrote down. Also, I still have my old copy without the border. Then I had to write down with like the permanent marker the names of the cards. But yeah, Mary L
Same.
was quite unusual. I think also at some point maybe for Tarot de Marseille lovers, Flonois decks like Dodel or Noble. And Hodorowski's as well, right? The
Oh yeah.
Hodorowski and CBD tarot by this guy who passed away. What was his name?
Oh, CBD was
Ben Doff,
Yoav Bendov.
Yoav Ben Doff. Yes, yes,
I have this out on my desk at all times. I
yeah,
love the Hodorowski. It's just
yeah,
so gorgeous. I haven't had it that long, but
yeah.
I've got them all upside down, of course.
Have you read the book? The book is really good. The Hodorowski
Yeah,
Kamoa. Yeah.
yeah,
Somebody. What else do we say here? Yeah. Somebody mentioned Mary L. Gaian Tarot as well. Yeah, that's right. Gaian Tarot was big. Still is
yeah,
kind of. Some of these decks don't actually die off, right? Like Wild Unknown could be still made like yesterday, really, and you wouldn't
yeah.
be
And
surprised.
Gaian Tarot is into its third incarnation now, isn't it? I mean, it was
Yeah, with the
originally
green.
Llewellyn, and everybody wanted the Llewellyn one, and I was lucky to get one. And then Schiffer did it with the double border, and now they brought it back with the green border. But yeah, and that's when you know there's a deck that is loved when it keeps coming back. We've
Yeah,
got Llewellyn Tarot coming back, haven't we? For is it
yeah,
a 20-year anniversary in a month or so?
yeah.
So
Somebody
that's going to
says,
be
"What about
exciting.
Matronua?" We both love Matronua,
Ah,
but it's the newer. It's like
Matronilla.
the newer one, right? Like I kind of focused more on the like what was. Yeah, Matronua is
We
awesome.
we
So
we
good.
both got the thingy version
Pocket.
out. Yeah. Yeah,
Um.
again, that's a deck that is very new. So I didn't refer to it because it's been in like the last year. I got this last August,
Yes.
but I think it is. If I was to have a soul deck, it's the RWS. But if I was to have two soul decks, one RWS and one Pip, this would be the other soul deck because this is amazing.
And Druidcraft, Donna, yes, Druidcraft was big, and Wildwood Tarot, right? They were big,
Yeah,
like British Isle kind of. Um, Terra Volatile, people love. Mary
yeah.
L, yeah. Ben Dove, yes, yes. Mary L, yeah. Yeah.
And it's amazing because all these decks that we're talking about are around me. You know, I only have to lean over here and I've
Yeah.
got Druid Craft. I only have to lean
Yeah.
over there and I've got Gaian Tarot.
Yeah.
And, you know,
Of course, we
they
chopped
are.
our druid craft. Yours as well, right? It's chopped.
I've got three. So I've got one that's not touched, and that's the new one, which is glossy. And then I've got the one with the borders and the naked one with just nothing, you know, other than
Yeah,
the
yeah,
image.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. All right, the next question. Oh, that they kind of difficult because they I think they will repeat somehow. But which deck best represents the 2010s? So like from 2010 to 2020.
I would have to say that one is my would be the Wild Unknown deck because that came out in 2015, 2016.
Yeah,
I think that defines a decade.
I think Julie Kuchia Watt's decks also they were kind of quite unusual and
Oh, Ancestral Path, yeah.
yeah, I don't know exactly
Uh,
what year were they bro. I think this
Margaret
one was
Peterson.
probably older, maybe. Sorry, I don't know what years they were actually printed, but I kind of remember them from that period that they were,
Yeah.
and probably Ellen Lorenzi prints in some way. I think maybe okay. What best represents? I thought like how cool was she because she did what we were then talking about representation in this. Like she has different cultures, different bodies, different skin colors, different and in all of her decks I think that's like Jolie Kuchia Watts. I love her. I think she's just awesome, but I thought like what best represents again Wild Unknown came out in 2012, so
Was it 2012? I didn't
yeah,
realize it was as early as that.
yeah,
Yeah, that's
or
the deck
14,
that.
12 or 14, sorry, but something
Yeah,
like that, maybe 14.
yeah. But that's the deck that kind of told people that indie decks existed and they didn't have to be following the pattern of Marseille or RWS, that you could do something completely unique. And it was
Yeah,
like, whoa. And then from that, the Wild Unknown has to be credited, whether you love it or not, as
yeah,
the deck that just opened up
yeah,
where we are today in terms of indie creations, I think. So that has to be the standout deck, I think, of that
yeah.
decade.
How cool it must be for Kim Krantz to like be this prolific.
Yeah,
And then whatever she put out, even her archetype decks or like deck or the alchemical ones.
alchemical.
It's like
Mm.
alchemical one is like very much maybe like specific and quite narrow, but like the archetypes are so amazing. So many people use them, or the animal decks. Like all her
Yes,
decks are
Animal
quite
Spirit, was
amazing.
it? Spirit,
Yeah,
Animal Spirit, I
animals.
think it was. I was able to get that as an indie, so I knew what Wild Unknown would have felt like. So I was like, oh, at least I've got this as an indie deck. And then that came out a year or two after as a mass market release
But
as well.
actually,
But I
mass
was like,
markets were great.
yeah, yeah, they did a good
They
job.
felt like the second indie she put out because I have the first indie, which was much smoother cardstock, but then the second indie with this like black and white kind of whatever checkered kind of thing, that felt very similar to the mass-produced version.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
Okay, so what do you think is, and you guys also can put it in the comments, what deck deserves more recognition or has been like overlooked a bit or on the fringes?
So I think this deck
Uh
has been
huh.
overlooked. I think Tarot of the Holy Spectrum is an amazing deck. This one is still in order because I did a side by side comparison recently with the or what do they call this version now? Infinity Edition, and then there's the Color Me
Oh,
version. So I did a side
got
by
them
side.
all. I've got the black
But
one.
yeah, but I just think this deck, people go on about slow holler. I think if this deck was to go out of print, all of a sudden everybody would want this. And it's iconic. I mean, doesn't that even remind you of slow holler?
Yeah.
And
It's
I
just
just
different
think,
color scheme, right?
yeah, it's an incredible deck, and not everybody. It features on my outro clip, and the comment I get the most, because it's on every video I put out, is, "What is that deck you're showing at the end?" And it's sad, really, that people have to ask, but that just shows you that not everybody is aware of it.
Yeah, that's
And
interesting.
I think if this had been released before Wild Unknown, I think this might have had the same sort of reaction, where people are like, "Whoa, look at that! Look at the use of color! Look at the art
Mm.
style! It breaks a mold." And so, yeah,
Yeah,
I think this is
it's
an
a nice deck. I
underappreciated
like
deck.
it too. Yeah. What else? Do you have anything else, or are we sticking to one?
Um, yeah, I just thought of the one.
I have a few.
Yeah, go on.
Well, I can pick one and then. So I think that Melissa Lucia's Oracle of Initiation, it's underappreciated and kind of like when I got to know it, I was surprised that it was out for so long already. I think this came up in 2012 maybe. And I know it's a very strange looking deck, so I can imagine how for some people, it's just not a very typical art style. But she was taking those selfies when selfies didn't even exist yet. And I love it with, like, if anybody ever gets it, like, you need to get a big book. Like, it is so good. And for anybody who loves going deep and like shadow work, any type of fun work, inner child work, play, family drama, whatever you want, this deck will have it. And it has also all those guardians. So if you like working with different beings, spirits, deities, there's also like different community people who like Marcus Katz, Mary Greer, like people wrote for this book like what they think, like they were picking one card each and they were writing about that card. It was just such a cool project. So I really I love that, and I know like I became friends with Melissa over this deck. I don't think though I'm biased. I think it's a really unique, awesome project for people who like to go deep, because it's deep. And then I thought about this. Not this. This is Mary L. It's in a black bag, but it's not that black bag. Because I never see it. I only see it at the Alison at the Moon Nectar apothecary. And I think maybe it is because it's quite pricey.
Yeah, I've looked at this so many times.
Yeah, but it's just so smart. It's
Yeah,
Cosmos. It's called Cosmos Oracle. It comes like in this beautiful everything, and it just looks posh, and it has this like in the
yeah.
box, and it's very minimalistic. So for people who are like, oh, what the,
You
please
showed
don't,
this quite recently
because I
on
love it.
was it the tag that I did that you did live and I was in there a
Maybe
couple of
the
weeks
decks that
ago?
will never you, because I did the, because I have so
Yeah,
many decks and like you, but I thought like I'm going to do like people I got to know a little bit, or but because it has all this like chemistry and all these different like cosmic, like the proton, Pluto, protoplanetary disk, like scintillation, like the words are you like physics, quantum physics, but it's like so smart how the booklet is written. And because we love pip decks as well, so you can read with like the symbols, because the dots, how they change the shapes and what happens to them. It's so good. And I never hear anybody talking about it. So maybe it's the price tag, because it's on the, I think it's about $100 or something. So it's
yeah.
on the more expensive end. But it's,
Was it sent to you by the creator?
yes, it was.
Yeah,
But I reached out to them. I'm like, hello, Kasia from Tarot Map. Because I search for original decks. Like sometimes creators reach out to me, sometimes I reach out to creators. I find something that I love. I'm like, come on, if you want, send it to me. I definitely, and again, like yourself, I don't take decks. I don't Like, why would I
uh,
take something and go, well, I actually don't like it so much. Who the fuck cares? Like, somebody will like it, so send it to people who will like it, and yeah. And like just
yeah.
the last one also from this Totem Tarot.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like it's again, I'm surprised myself because maybe I like wouldn't have gone for it so much. I don't know. When I went to New York, one of my clients met up with me for coffee, and Kathy, and she brought me Rachel's flower essence deck as a gift, you know. And then like I don't know, next day Rachel reached out to me if she can send me her tarot deck as well, and the flower essences deck was so beautiful. So I'm like, yeah. And I didn't realize how much I am going to like it because it's actually, I keep using it all the time. It's on my altar every month, you know, like it's so, again, like so cool to read. And I think maybe because, like yourself, in some way, it's changed now for you for historical decks. Like we get bored with decks, right? If you see the Rider-Waite-Smith clone over and over again, even if it's different faces, different colors, you kind of crave like
Something
something
unique.
different, something like
Yeah,
that's like surprises you or like challenges your brain, right? Like it's not.
yeah,
So I
absolutely.
love that. Yeah.
And
So
I,
that's
I, I
totem.
I love it when you bring a deck into your collection that you've got nothing else like it. You know, you're like, wow,
Yeah.
this is going to be a brilliant addition to
Yeah.
my tarot collection.
Like
Absolutely.
all this, this altered tarot now. I don't know if you've seen it. It's very like kind of
Yeah,
popular now because it's photographic in a way, but it's so moody. Like you pull
yeah,
it and you're like, you don't even want to like read tarot. You want to feel it. You're like, I'm feeling it. Or like with these flowers as well, like this pressed flower tarot. Have you seen
yeah.
this one?
I have.
Because it's just like such a cool idea and how she did it, like it's just so beautiful. So again, it's maybe not so easy to read for like beginners,
Yeah,
but it's like for people who like read tarot, and you can read from, yeah, like Enriquez used to say it, she can read like sugar bags. Depends how they fall.
yeah,
Then yeah, I just noticed that I like now like something original, something that's a bit different. And even though, like we still like our traditional ones, I like the regular Rider-Waite-Smith as well, or Toff, they never go out of love for me. But like what I want. And I just wanted to share one more, not necessarily like just
this is.
because for you, I just thought like if you like
Ah,
this, if you know
I
this,
do.
the Hess tarot.
Yeah.
I
Oh
fucking
gosh.
love it. Those smiles.
Do you
I'm
know,
like, what?
I've got a couple of his decks, and this one, it's on my list. I don't know why I didn't read it out. And I was like, oh, because Marilyn, do you know Marilyn from Tarot
Yes,
Clarity?
yes, yes.
Yeah. And when she showed it, I was like, oh my gosh,
I'm like, look at the faces, Simon. They all that
stop
smiley.
it.
I had to buy it. I was like, I saw it at my friend's Eva for the first time because she had it and I actually saw it live. I was like, and the cardstock and just I'm kind of fell in love with it like I fell in love with Doddle and those goggled eyes, like,
Yeah.
like this.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God, look at the smiles. Like, you don't see it very often, especially in Tarot de Marseille. They're usually like, quite like cross-eyed. But this has, and it's 1,750, so it's quite a historical one, quite
Yeah.
like Doddle. And
Yeah.
then this one, I don't know if you've seen, that's just like majors, but this is Ale Tarot.
Oh no, I've not. Is
So
that by Midnight Tarot?
people don't use much just majors. I love them because, well, we will have a question, but it's like she took a piece, so it's a bit of a martial art, and the devil is
Yeah.
like Shiva, and it's really cool. So it's a funky take on, yeah, the director of a film for the emperor.
Yeah.
So I really like it. So
The
this one is also
blindfold for
kind
the
of,
hermit.
yeah, and the Hermit. Yeah, it's fun. It's really fun. So yeah. Anyway, we could go on and on. Prediction for the next 10 years, and then
For
maybe we
this.
do quickly the blitz questions. I don't have many, just like 7 or something. So we just answer this or this,
Okay.
this or this.
Yeah.
So prediction, Simon. What do you think? Will
So
physical
we
decks remain popular?
I hope so. I do think they'll remain popular. I think if the apps were going to replace tarot, it would have happened by now. I if I use an app, it's usually for extra, so like a better guidebook or something like that. Or like Shadowscapes is an app that I got because I can see the artwork better because Shadowscapes was an iconic deck, but my
Small.
eyesight isn't great. Yeah. So having an iPad that's this big that I can then have a look at the artwork, that's the reason I get apps to get extra content. So I do think physical decks will remain popular. I think tarot isn't just about reading cards, it's a tactile experience as well. It's about the shuffle, it's about the smell, it's a sensory thing. And a deck like that you've got in your hands there, the whole experience of opening that box and taking it out of its bag and holding the cards cannot be replaced, I don't think.
Yeah, yeah. And I don't own
Beautiful.
any of the Marco Benedetti's, which you guys all geeking on decks. I don't have any
Kasha,
yet. I will get one.
Kasha, Kasha, get one, and if you get
And then
one,
come and thank me.
if you get one, get the Soprafino because this is the most beautiful,
Oh,
intricate, colourful deck in my collection. It is stunning. I took it to show Tammy Pie when we met up in York, and she was like, "Oh," and
yeah. Yeah,
it's
sometimes
such
you
an
see them
experience.
sometimes you see them live and it just like hits you, right?
Yeah. And I mean, I say just, I'm fortunate because I can afford it. Not everybody can, but it's 60 US dollars, which is around 50 something pound. You pay that for a mass market now, and they're
I
handmade,
know.
handmade boxes, handmade personalized stickers with your name on,
Yeah.
handmade cards that are layered together, a different back and a different front.
Yeah.
The craftsmanship that goes into it, and he charges 60 US dollars.
Marco's
It's like,
prices are very fair, very fair.
yeah.
Yeah. Definitely. I'm going to get one because now, like most of my friends, like, Masha and everybody's like, "Rah, rah, 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 rah." And I always go like, oh my God, I'm jealous of Masha. I want to sleep in the suite of Maria Callas in Marcos Benedetti's hotel. That always looks so cool when they catch up. It's like you can see that they're like
Yeah,
such good friends and it's just so nice to watch. And I'm like,
yeah, it is.
oh, that's so cool. I want to be the princess of Masha. So, do you think that YouTube will be the main platform?
I don't think it will. I think um I think the younger generation now are used to and wanting short form. And I think might survive if people start doing more shorts. But with the kind of explosion of TikTok and Instagram Reels and things like that, I'm not sure how much longer long form content will go around. I mean, I'm going to be here as long as YouTube's still going, as long as it doesn't start doing silly things and charging people and
Yeah,
all
yeah,
that kind of stuff. As long as it remains as it is now, I've got a few gripes with YouTube. Putting adverts into my videos when I don't monetize. But I'm not sure in another 10 years. Um, and when we think of how the tarot tube community has changed from what we've been talking about tonight in 10 years, to think what that might look like in another 10 years, I don't know. I hope so. Um, I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if it's not, because I think younger generation want quick, quick, fast.
yeah. And it's changing a lot. And, I have a good example with Patreon because a lot of people had Patreon for a long time, right? You have a YouTube channel, and usually people had also Patreon for like just support so that people who want to support them would. And I remember people were saying, Kasia, open Patreon. And I was always thinking that it's going to be just annoying and commitment, like I have to post and I maybe don't want to. With YouTube, it's kind of free. You feel like it, you post. You don't feel like it, you don't post, right? And I opened Patreon recently and it already changed. Like I've been there for 2 months, and now they introduced quips and they're becoming like Instagram, and now you have free subscribers there. And I'm thinking, I didn't really open Patreon for another social media account with another set of free subscribers that I have on Instagram for free and on YouTube for free. I'm like, I only want people who want to also support me, like, and spare $5 a month and support the work that I do. But now it just changing so quickly that it goes like, you get there. And my advice for anybody who wants to do it for work, do all those things early on. Like, I actually admire you, Simon, that you opened that Facebook group as well, and that you did like lives committedly. And I know how much work that sometimes might have been, that maybe you weren't in the mood or you were tired and you still showed up. That's like really totally, because I know how much it is. Like, sometimes, like, if you show up and you show up, that pays off. So, like, add to that advice.
Yeah,
If you want to do it
yeah,
for work, open Patreon, open things that people can support you. Because again, like, maybe 5 years ago, like, I would have built a Patreon community by now, but I haven't done that, kind of
yeah.
weren't thinking that far.
That that's a good point that I perhaps should have mentioned earlier when I was talking about if you could give advice. If you want a channel to grow, it is about consistency.
Yes.
So if you don't post for a couple of weeks, it's harder to get the views back.
Yeah.
People and the way YouTube works again with its algorithms, consistently putting out videos on a regular basis helps your channel to grow.
Yeah.
But also, if you can find a time to go live and stick to that regular time slot, people show up. So I tend to now, if I do a cup of ketchup and cards, there's usually around 135 people there.
Yeah. That's
It
really good.
fluctuates. It fluctuates. Sometimes it might drop to about 120 after about an hour or something like that.
Yeah.
But people know, and if I miss, so I will say, there won't be a live on Saturday because I'm on a trip or something like that. I still get messages saying, "Are you okay? I noticed you're not live," because they perhaps didn't see it. So there is
Yeah.
that expectation, and people will keep coming and supporting. So yeah, you're right that the consistency
Yeah.
helps your channel
And
to
we
grow.
can see, because I haven't done it and I still don't do it because I'm just this type of person. And that's, again, like, I'm authentic to myself. I'm trying, I
Yeah,
thought, like, oh, it would be so nice if I just did it every Saturday. People would know, because now I come live. It's like 5 minutes before live, I'm on Instagram. Hey, I'm going live now. Nobody knows about it. Nobody fucking sees it. Nobody shows up. So YouTube doesn't show it. And it's just like this vicious circle that, like, people don't know and to look for me, which I think,
mhm.
don't take it out of my leaf from this book. Don't do it. Take the leaf from Simon's book. It's much better. It's like, that's the way to go. So don't do what I do because it's wrong. All right. What else do we have, Simon? I think I agree with you. I think in some way, I'm pretty sure new platforms will pop up. And I think YouTube maybe will stay, since they also now have shorts and kind of community tab and this.
It will
And it's like
evolve.
a
It will
library.
move.
And
Yeah,
YouTube is a library. Like, we learn from
yeah,
we learn on
yeah.
YouTube. We study on YouTube everything. How to you find it on YouTube.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and everything. And that we talked earlier about channels that have come and gone. If they don't take down, so you get people like Papa Squirrel who had a channel, became very popular, vanished, took down all his content, gone. But
Or
then you've got people
Natalia
like,
from Ouroboros, she, like, for the first time, now not anymore, but she
oh right,
deleted all of her videos, which was like, for
oh,
people,
okay.
no.
Yeah, and then you've
Yeah.
got people like Elle from Sacred Seed who disappeared, but all her content is still
Thank
there.
God.
And when you're talking about a library, I still go back and watch some
Her
of her videos,
videos were
and
brilliant.
they still come up as a suggestion 10 years on.
Yeah.
So yeah, even if the worst happens and we can't make videos anymore, I will never delete my
Yeah.
content,
Me neither.
because
Me neither.
it's there. It's a library for people if they want to watch a
Yeah.
walkthrough of a certain deck that they've
Yeah.
just found in a charity shop somewhere.
And I'm not so dramatic. I'm going.
This is my last ever video. You won't see me again.
Yeah, you won't have a conversion video from me, and you won't have a big dramatic exit. All right, and I think maybe let's do the, because we're going on for 2 hours. That's probably we both becoming tired now, but still a lot of people here. So thanks for being here with us and whoever rewatches as well. All right, so Simon, tarot or oracle cards?
Tarot.
Same, tarot. Reversals or jumpers?
Jumpers.
Jumpers. Crystal candles, tools, 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 or just cards only?
Oh, tools.
Yeah, tools. I wanted to say, actually, when I do readings, maybe not so much tools, but if you look at my photos, you probably would say, "You lying, shut up, everywhere,
I
crystals and everywhere."
I just love candles. I love incense. I have to have crystals around me. it gets me in the place.
Same, same. And I'm
Yeah.
just like surrounded by it. So, yeah, definitely tools. Major or minor arcana?
Major.
Same. Rider-Waite Smith, Toff, or Marseille?
Oh, I've got to go with my soul deck. So Rider-Waite Smith, but I'm loving pip decks at the moment.
Oh gosh, I should have asked the fourth one, like who knows
All of
what.
them.
Yeah, yeah, like a weird out, like a Cosmos Oracle or something like Altered Tarot. I would probably go with this one right now, but I probably would also go with Rider-Waite Smith just because I know it the most, I think.
Mm.
And Marseille, but Marseille, I treat Marseille as like not so much systematic. It's more free
And
flow, open,
it's where we
open.
are. It's where we are in our tarot journey, our spiritual practice. So at the moment, I'm loving pip decks, and it's what I'm reaching for the most. So
Yeah,
I could say pips, but at the moment, but if you had asked me last year, I was really into Hoff this time last year and trying to
yeah,
get a
exactly.
groovy and so. But my heart will always be Pamela Coleman Smith.
Yeah. All right. One deck in a reading or many decks in a reading?
For me, one deck in the reading.
For me, many,
I do
many.
I do use clarifiers, but
Yeah.
if I've only got one deck, I'm happy.
Yeah. I'm totally unhappy. Give me more. And then would you mix tarot with like astrology or numerology or something else, or just purely tarot oracle?
Depends what I'm using. If I'm using pip decks, then numerology and the elements are the main two, and that's my jumping off board. So five of coins could be a change to my finances or my work situation. So it's bringing in those two. Um, Whereas RWS is more scenic, but not astrology. I don't do astrology and I don't do Kabbalah. Oh, this isn't a quick fire answer, is it?
Yeah, that's good because I always mix astrology with my tarot reading. I somehow realized that I'm foremost an astrologer and then a tarot
Right.
reader. I probably love tarot more for the artistic and no, not this. I shouldn't say that I love it less than astrology, but astrology is very precise and tarot
Uh-huh.
gives me the insight. It's like another angle to a situation, but it's more conversative, more allegory, more metaphor, more creative, kind of, not so much predictive in that way. Whereas astrology is much more for me predictive. That's when it starts, that's when it finishes. This is where you are right now, like it's the cycle. You kind of much more, which I like because then it
Yeah.
also puts it back into, like, grounds it. But I think, yeah, I would mix tarot with, and also I love mixing tarot with, like, sound.
Yes. Oh,
Or,
yes. Yes.
like
Yeah.
adding something like at the end, at the beginning of the reading, or if you do chakra readings or something like,
My little bell.
yeah, we can't hear it.
You can't hear it. Oh, it's
It's
because I've got
probably you have to
earphones in.
put because maybe on your Zoom you have to put the original sound for musician on, and then you would
Oh,
hear the sound. Otherwise, you can't hear the sound. Yeah, it
okay.
just
Don't
kind of
worry.
picks on the voice only. Yeah. All right, that was my last question. It was really lovely to catch up with you because I
Oh, I've
remember, like,
loved
I want
it.
to also catch up with Nova Mundi Tarot, because we also have so many decks and we kind of, both Sagittarians. But with you, I always, we just go so long back. And I thought if I ever
Yeah.
want to speak, like, maybe I would also, invite to like, it would be a trio if, like, Patrick was here or Kelly from The Truth and Story. But Patrick also kind of disappeared. And yeah, he's just kind of, I'm not seeing him really either on Instagram or on YouTube. He kind of not
No.
showing up anymore.
He became the living wheel, didn't he, when he brought out that astrology deck after he
Yeah.
was in the 78 cards. I think he got a lot of trolling early on, and that's when I was saying about just having a thick skin. I think, it got to him, and I think they started mentioning things like family and that sort of stuff, and he was like, I'm out of here.
Oh, that
And that's
sucks.
a shame.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
your method of click, delete, block, move on.
Yeah.
That's the only way. At one time, I used to try and engage with
Yeah.
it, and
Engage.
then
Yeah.
don't feed the trolls, just go.
The
Not
only
interested.
engagement I have for you is.
Yeah.
But I think, for yeah, it's kind of character also, right? Like how we are as humans. Maybe because I'm
Mm,
Polish, I don't know. Like I also think like Europeans are a little bit different to Americans, cultural things, like we're
yeah.
much more, some like Americans are much more aware about like how they put things out, how they speak, like you can use certain things, which to us in Europe seem like it's normal, so like unalive, or I was like, when I heard it for the first time, I was like, we all die, we will be dead.
Yeah. Nobody's getting out of this alive.
Oh, that's just freaked me out. So yeah, I think yeah we have like just different cultures we live in, and we sensitive to different things, right? But
Yeah.
in the end, I think if you have like good intention, it also comes through. Like
Mm,
so,
yeah.
yeah,
No, but I've loved it. I've loved. I don't go on other people's channels very often. People don't tend to ask. I've had lots of people on, but when you said, "Shall we get together and do something?" I was like, "Yeah, it'll be so much fun," and it has been so much fun. It's been lovely to look back. It's been lovely
yeah,
to think about the journey that we've both been on, and that we're
yeah.
still here, still going strong. But it's been fun. So thank you
Yeah,
for having me
thanks so
on.
much as well. And like, yeah, I really kind of think you did a great work with community. You were always, in my eyes, like you always quite like, authentic, and just you have good intention, and things sometimes might go this way or this way for each of us. But I
Mm,
think, yeah, I never kind of like, yeah, I never had any other stuff with you than just like you aligned to who you are and what you put out. And I hope the same for myself, because that's the only
absolutely.
thing you can really do. So, yeah. And maybe one day we do Tarathon again. I'm ready.
I, I'll say it here. I think when it comes to the 10-year anniversary, we'll do one.
Let's do one. Yeah.
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 So 2028. So 2 years, we'll do a Tarathon 10-year
Yeah.
anniversary.
Yeah. That would be really cool. All right.
Cool.
Thank you, everybody who's been here. Wasima is here. Hi, Wasima. And lots of people, Saskia and Donna and Sharon. Oh my God, I'm not going to list everybody, but thanks so much for coming over and cheering us up. It was lovely to hang out with you, Simon, first of all,
Thank you.
bringing all those lovely people over because they forgot about my existence, but I'm glad you brought them over. Now they
No.
remember.
There's loads of people in the chat that I don't recognize the names of.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
there's
yeah.
your audience as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, don't take it as any like it's just like more like a joke. But
Yeah, I know. I know.
yeah. But thank you so much, and it was really fun. And 2 hours went like we
Yeah.
we
Well,
talkers. We
over. Yeah.
talkers, I know. But I think that's before we go, passion. We're passionate about it. Like honestly we are. That's it.
Yeah.
We can talk about decks
Connecting.
forever.
Connecting in community. That's what we're doing now. It's what
So
it's
if
all
you ever
about.
in Poland, come on over. And then if I'm in England, maybe I visit you and we work, like look at our decks and we exchange
Can you imagine?
ideas. Yeah, I would love that. I sometimes wish half of tarot community was closer so we could just do like little tarot festival or
Poland.
something.
Poland is on my list for the year after next. Hopefully, I'm going to Barcelona next year. But I work with somebody from Poland at work, and she keeps showing pictures of her hometown. I'm like, it looks so
Oh
beautiful.
my God! So if you come,
Um,
you have to come and see me.
yeah, I'll come and
We're
see
in
you
touch. It will be
definitely.
really cool. I'm not so far away from Warsaw. I mean, like uh, maybe not even 2 hours, like 2 hours with a car. So it's like 150 k's. So it's not
Yeah.
much. Yeah, it's
Oh,
not
cool.
far. Yeah.
We'll do it.
Yeah. All right. We never finish.
Smash it.
Goodbye. Was lovely to see you.
And you,
I see
Kasia.
you
See you
around.
soon.